So the next thing that we do is website footprinting using web spiders. So web spiders or web crawlers are nothing but bots which send traffic to your particular website in order to gain data from that website. Data such as the hidden links, data such as any kind of page that might be a login page, a registration page, a user page, a manual page, right? So web spiders and website footprinting using these web crawlers are uh, like will give you an open view towards what that website contains. So web spiders such as Web Data Extractor and Parse Hub perform automated searches on the target website and collect specific information such as employee names and email addresses. Attackers will use this collected information to perform footprinting and social engineering attacks, right? So one of such tools is Parse Hub. So Parse Hub and all of these tools are nothing but uh, at the end of the day, these are web scrapers, right? Now, if you are into Python or if you are into coding and things like that, you can make your own web scraper using Python modules such as Beautiful Soup, right? So these are all of the things that you can do. Now, this is available on Mac, Windows, and Linux. We'll just check it out for Linux. They have the commands here. I would recommend using this on Linux, just helps you out with the understanding of what we can do with Linux and how to install tools on Linux as well. Okay, this is the whole set that we need to copy. Fine. Right. So the entire script that is given on the website itself will download and install it for us. Let's wait for that to finish up.
What it is downloading?
It's downloading ParseHub for us.
Okay, on our server.
Then, no, it's a downloading on our computer. This is a Linux-based machine, so it
Okay.
downloads on the machine itself. If it would have been a server, then yes, it would have downloaded it on the server itself.
But there should be connectivity to our public network, right? To
Yeah,
download.
right. So while that happens, we'll just go through the slide. So attackers use this collected information to perform social engineering attacks. We are clear with that. So user-directed spidering, such as attackers use standard web browsers to walk through the target website functionalities, right? This is when we create a web spidering tool or a web extractor tool or a web scraper tool using something like Beautiful Soup or something like that using Python. So it makes use of your browser itself, whether it be Firefox, whether it be Chrome, right? Chrome is a little bit more, on the backside whenever we are creating these kinds of tools, because Google Chrome has Google Analytics, Google Ads, and everything built into it, right? So websites can automatically instruct Google in order to delist some of the links that are there. So in order to avoid that, we use tools, we use browsers like Firefox and Bing sometimes, but yeah, mostly Firefox. So the incoming and outgoing traffic of the target website is monitored and analyzed by tools that include features of both a web spider and an intercepting proxy. So if I see, so if there is a login page, right? and I don't have a login for myself, and someone else is logged into the website, I can simply intercept his or her traffic so that I can know what kind of users are or what kind of functionalities these users are utilizing in order to get their tasks done on this website. So attackers will also use tools as Burp Suite and Web Scrap to perform user-directed spidering. User-directed spidering on Burp Suite is a paid feature, so you need Burp Suite Premium for that. But you can still use a tool called OWASP Zap, and that is what we will see next as well. Let's see if I have Zap on my system. Yeah, I have Zap. Cool. Let's fire that up. So OWASP Zap is a tool which it has both automatic and manual features to it. It checks the entire website for things like vulnerabilities and web application vulnerabilities catering to the OWASP top 10 vulnerability list, right? So we'll just not do this right now. Yeah. So we'll just do an automated scan as of now. Later on, we are going to go ahead with the vulnerabilities. So you don't have to worry about the vulnerabilities that will be listed here, because that is something that comes a little later in our modules itself. So I'll just put in this website itself. Okay, no issues. Okay. New session. Okay, start. Most probably I need to update this as well. So yeah, I think I need to restart Zap. See what's our. This is going to take time. Fine. So yeah. Now, while these tools are updating and installing, we can see some of the tools which are available on the web itself. So we use Firefox headless. We select this and we start with the attack. Right. So what does it do? It sends API requests to the website, right? And checks for all of the links that these APIs are trying to hit. And we are getting a 200 response. A 200 response from any web application is considered to be okay, right? So whether it gets, so it says 200 okay, 200 okay, 200 okay, right? That means that there is no error on this website. Hence, what we can do is we can go through these websites and we can check these links out for any vulnerabilities that is out there. This is an active scan or an active web crawling that is happening right now. While it is web crawling, it also shows us alerts, right? Alerts in the sense missing anti-clickjacking header, right? This is a vulnerability. This is a medium level vulnerability. Context security policy. This is a medium level vulnerability. It gives us a description as well, but we are not considered about this as of now. But these are the things that OWASP helps us with for an initial scan, right? But because all of these vulnerabilities, although listed down, might be false positive, might be different kind of vulnerability that is hiding beneath, that we need to check ourselves using tools like burp suite and so on. So we are just for the information of it, we use this information that is given to us by OWASP ZAP or OWASP ZAP, right? So one of the things that we can check right here is that it sent a request, right? But it gave us this error right here. 301 moved permanently. Now it's an error. I cannot decipher anything out of it, but what I can make sense out of is Nginx 1.22.0, right? So we know that the website is using Nginx as its web server, right? It's not using Apache now. So if I check for Nginx 1.22 CVE, Nginx 1.22 closed defect won't fix, right? So these are some vulnerabilities that exist on 1.22. Not any of them are high at the moment, but the priority is minor. But there are vulnerabilities because it's updated to the latest version, right? If it would have been something else, if it would have been anything under 1.22, so it is 1.22.1, the latest one. So it is running one minor version uh, downgraded Nginx, right? So if it would have been anything else, we could have checked for any of the vulnerabilities that exist, and we could have utilized that to leverage our hand on this particular website, right? So let's see the active scan. It runs the active scan for quite some time. So yeah, say I'll pause this active scan for now. Right. Say this, right? So we get a code out of it, right? This is a plugin code that is pl upload.full.min.js, right? So all of these codes that are right here, which are publicly exposed, can sometimes contain keys inside of them, such as API keys, such as user authentication keys, and so on. So it helps us leverage to execute session hijack vulnerabilities and sniffing vulnerabilities as well, right? So this is a web application crawler OWASP ZAP available on like there are a lot of tools that are available on the web as well. Web crawler online, n number of tools available. We'll just choose the first one as of now, right? Maybe you need to create an account or something like that. This one I hope doesn't. https:// domain name and check. So it crawls the entire website and checks for all of the links that are there. Right. I think this hasn't complete. Okay, fine. Okay, let's move until those two complete. Okay, mirror entire websites, right? So if I have a website and I want to download it to my system, right? I use something like httrack. Okay. So what httrack does is downloads the HTML, CSS, JavaScript of the particular website. It might not have the backend functionalities of a website, but it will look completely the same. Now, many of the times, this tool is used to clone paid Evanto, what do you call it, templates for websites, right? So ultimately, Evanto templates and website templates are nothing but HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, right? So I can simply use something like httrack on Kali Linux in order to clone a particular website, right? It is as simple as sudo apt install httrack. Just give me a moment until I enter my password. Sudo apt install httrack. Okay. Resume. So yeah, now on the terminal, I'll type in httrack. If it is not on your Kali system, it is as simple as running the following command: sudo apt install httrack, which is available on the official Kali documentation itself. Right. So httrack, it enters a project name. I will name the project as test 2023. Base path, right? I'll keep it on the same. Enter URLs. So https://yeah.com. And it will mirror the entire website for us. No proxies. You can define wildcards as well. We won't require wildcards as of now. To see additional option list, you can type help. We'll just keep it with the defaults, and it will mirror the entire website for us, right? So it resides on the websites. So slash websites ls test 2023 cd test 2023 ls, and it contains the entire website in itself. So index.html, cookies.txt. If I do a cat on index.html, it is going to show us the entire HTML code of the website. Now, these codes can contain information in itself. Hence, we can find important information that are residing in the website as well as clone the website if you want to make your own website in the same HTML, CSS, and JavaScript format. Extracting website information from archive.org. We have seen archive.org in the process of Wayback Machine. So you can simply go to Wayback Machine, type in whatever URL you want to view, say kali.org itself, https://kali.org, browse history, and we see that it was available in 2001 as well. Let's see how it looked like in 2001 from February 2nd. This is what the website of kali.org looked like when it was in its earliest stage, right? So yeah, this is how you can find out details about a website while it was building. Now, all of this might contain some information here, or a page that was available back in 2020, 2013, but is not available now. You can find out all of those. Extracting website links. Extracting website links is an important part of website footprinting, where an attacker analyzes a target website to determine its internal and external links. Right? Attackers use various online tools such as Octoparse, Netpeak, Spider, and Link Extractor to extract linked images, scripts, iframes, and URLs of the target website. Right? So there are online tools such as Octoparse. Right? So the electronic, okay, this is not the one. Yeah. So you need to start a free trial, you have to log in, and the usual, it is safe to say. But yeah, I would suggest, create a 10-minute mail or something like that, log in, test it out for yourself. And it's fairly simple. And we'll see a tool that will do this for us as well. Gathering word lists from the target website. Now, why do we gather word lists, or what are word lists? Word lists are nothing but a list of terms from the website, which can be passwords as well, right? So usually what happens in, say, organizations, say my name is Arun, and I am entering a password to be set for my organizational website, say, what do you call it? Say xyz.com, right? Now, the general human nature of someone setting up this target or setting up this password is going to be their name followed by the organization name. So Arun XYZ, Arun @XYZ, Arun @XYZ123. So these are the common human nature type passwords that are already there, right? Or anything that is very much inside of the website itself. Say Arun Cybersecurity 123, right? Or Arun the Information Security 123. Something like that. So if I gather all of the key terms from the website, it will be easier for me to create a word list and that I can try that I can use in order to brute force a login on this website, right? Quell is one of the few tools that are there in order to create word lists. All you need to do is type in CEWL Quell. Let's see if I have it on my computer. Yeah, I do. So Quell followed by www.kali.org, right? So it will create a word list for us and save it in the Quell folder itself that is inside of user share Quell, right? So we'll use that in a later stage when we are doing verb suit, and then that's when we will be exploring more about Quell then. Extracting metadata from public documents, right? So metadata extraction tools such as MetaGoofil, EXIF tools, and Web Data Extractor gets the data out of uh, all of these documents, right? So, the document might be a PDF, PNG, whatever. It gets data out of those, such as the ones that are listed here, when it was downloaded, right? Um, what kind of document is there? What is the limit? What are the, if it is an image, what is the aperture? What is the focus? Whatever it might be. So it is available on the image itself. It is packaged with the image. So check out MetaGoofil, right? So MetaGoofil is available on Kali itself, right? All you need to do is search out for MetaGoofil -d for the domain, say kali.org -t PDF, right? It checks the entire website for PDFs, right? So let's see. MetaGoofil -d. Let's just say drive.com -t PDF -L100 -N25, right? Let's see. Searching for 100 .pdf files and waiting for 30 seconds between the searches. Right. So while that completes, we will complete the slide itself. Other techniques for website footprinting, monitoring web pages for updates and changes, right? You can either monitor it for updates and changes, or you can simply use the Wayback Machine in order to get data from the previous versions of the website. Searching for contact information, email addresses, and telephone numbers. Searching for web pages, posting patterns and revision numbers, right? These are copyright notices and so on. Monitoring website traffic of target company and getting information out of legitimate users who are using that website at that point of time. Tracking email communication. So every email has a certain part to it, right? A header part to it. Email tracking is used to monitor the delivery of emails to an intended recipients. Hence, attackers can track emails to gather information about the target recipient. So this is an email header, right? I think it's zoomed in later on. Yeah. So this is an email header. So return path, this is the address from which the message was sent. This part of the mail header gives you the date and time received by the originator's email servers. So this is the sender's IP address. This is the sender's mail server. This is the authentication system used by the mail server, SHA-256, RSA SHA-256. Sorry, the sender's full name and the date and time of the message that was sent. Right. So this is all available on Gmail itself. Just Google search it out, how to check for the email header on Gmail, and you'll get this entire information there itself. Email tracking tools are available as well. Let's check out. Okay, 0 PDFs were found. Let's read for that. Yeah. Email tracking tools. Email tracking tools such as Email Tracker Pro, Infoga, Mail Track, and Polite Mail allow an attacker to track an email and extract information such as sender identity, mail server, sender's IP address, and so on. Right. Even the geolocation. So there are two tools that I would highly suggest you all to explore on your own. A few tools actually. One is wait, I forgot the name. Infoga. Similar to Infoga, by the same person itself, there is something called Phone Infoga. Right? Phone Infoga is for mail, and Phone Infoga is for phone numbers. Right? So you can get information about phone numbers there itself. Then there is the Harvester. Yeah, these are the three tools that I want you to check it out on yourself. It's fairly simple. It's available on GitHub itself, completely open source, and all of the instructions are given there itself on the user manual. There was another tool. Oh, okay. Sherlock. Sherlock is a Python-based tool on which if you enter something like Sherlock followed by say Sundar Pichai, right? It is going to give you details about the public information that is available about Sundar Pichai, his email addresses, his contact information, if available on the internet, right? These are all of the things that you can find. So obviously you won't find it for Sundar Pichai. You can find out for other people as well. 𝐿ookup? Whos databases are maintained by regional internet registries and contain personal information of domain owners, right? So this is nothing but whenever a domain is registered, right? Say it is from GoDaddy, say it is from Cloudflare, say it is from Akamai, whatever it might be, right? So if it is registered from say GoDaddy has to you know populate it on its servers, right? It has to host that website on its servers. And when it is hosting that website on its servers, it is assigning it an IP address. When it's taking that IP address from an IP address pool that is available with the registrar web servers, it is populating the details of the website as well on the server. And that detail is what we can extract from a whois lookup. The simplest place to look for is the whois official website itself, is whois.com. Enter a domain here such as kali.org, click on whois, and you'll get a entire information about what it is hosted on. So the registrar is Gandhi SAS, registered on this date in 2002, will expire on this date in 2006, right? Updated in 2023 itself. And name servers are Nash and Nina.ns.cloudflare.com. So we know that it is using Cloudflare as its web application firewall. Right now, the Kali.org and all of the major websites that care about privacy will take all of these information out of the registrar's servers itself. Registrant street, redacted for privacy, and so on. Right. But if it is a normal website, they will have all of these information here: administrative contract, technical contact, raw whois data, right? So all of this can be extracted as well. Finding IP geolocation. Yeah. The IP geolocation helps to identify information such as country, region, state, and everything. So IP2 location is available online as well. It is not very accurate because you are not allowed to track as a normal user, right? But all you can track is which country is it from, which place is it from, and so on. Extracting DNS information is something that we saw in the last class itself using 𝐷NS. So if you want to refer to that, you can refer to the previous video. Trace route. Okay. So if I do some, okay, so it has found out all of these PDFs on kali.org. Okay. So you can simply click on this link and open it on your website, on your, what do you call it, browser, and see what are the things that are available. Right? Directory authentication bypass. Right? This is where probably a POC. Right? So these are all of the PDFs that are hidden, but you can parse it through MetaGoFil. Right? Traceroute or Tracert, google.com. Okay, Tracert is not okay. It's on Windows if I'm not so. Yeah. So this was a traceroute request to google.com, right? So what happened in the middle? Say traceroute to google.com, 30 hops max. So going from one router to another router is a hop, right? So what is happening here? It is going to my D-Link router on the IP address .1. This is known as the default gateway. Every single traffic from my computer, from any computer which is connected to my Wi-Fi network, will go through the default gateway. Now, then it goes to this IP address, then it goes to this DHCP server, then it goes to this IP address, right? Then it goes to this IP address, then it goes to the Mumbai IP address. So it went to Kolkata, then to Mumbai probably, then this IP address. So this is all of the IP address of the routers that it is hopping through in order to reach google.com, right? And ultimately, see, the IP address for google.com is 142.250.192.110. And ultimately, it reaches 142.250.192.110, right? So that is the entire information about all of the routers which were in the middle of my path, right? And now you can obviously run some attacks if you want to on those, but not although not very fruitful, it still gives you a bit of a detail about the network. Now, this was across the internet. If it would have been an intranet, if I'm inside of an organization running a penetration test and so on, it would be very much beneficial because it's all inside of the organization and I can easily sabotage those routers and switches. This is geolocation. Yeah. Footprinting through social engineering. Social engineering is an art of exploiting human behavior to extract confidential information. Now, people might, get the idea that social engineering is something like phishing website only, right? But no, social engineering is anything that involves human interaction. Like if as a friend of someone, just simply ask them that, hey, what's going on in work, right? So they say that work is going fine and things like that. So I just randomly ask that, so who's your client? Right? And they will tell me what their client is because I'm a friend, right? And what can I do with that information? So even that is a social engineering attack if I am using that for malicious purposes, right? So now I know that his company is having this company as their client, right? So I can simply, leverage that, sell that data to someone, right? Now, this is all of the social engineering things that we can have. Now, social engineers attempt to gather credit card details, social security numbers, username, passwords, security products, operating systems, and so on. Some of the social engineering techniques just on the human interaction end is eavesdropping. Someone is having an important call on the phone. You simply go and sit next to them and you listen to their conversation, right? That is eavesdropping. Shoulder surfing is watching over someone's shoulder, saying that if someone is entering their password on their computer and you are shoulder surfing them, you are watching over their shoulder, and whatever is the password they enter on their system, you just simply note it down or you remember that password and you go ahead to your computer and log in with that credential, right? That is shoulder surfing. Dumpster diving is a technique where uh, people actually go through dumpsters and dustbins in order to gather information. Why? Because many of the employees of an organization, in organizations, in offices, people will order Amazon packages or they will have letters that come to them, whether it be checks, whether it be any kind of memorandums or anything of that sort. So you are going to get that letter, but you are going to throw that envelope away, right? And that envelope contains some information about you and some information about the sender as well. So if I can get a hold of that envelope that you just threw into the dustbin, or if I can get hold of the empty box that of from Amazon that you threw into the dustbin, I can simply look at the label and find out uh, what do you call it, what your phone number is. Right? That is the dumpster diving. And finally comes impersonation. Impersonation is nothing but you impersonating someone in the sense that you call someone up saying that, hey, this is this person speaking, I need this information from you, and you try to be the top guy of an organization and you call the receptionist to say that, right? So what happens is she definitely agrees to give you the information if you are persuasive enough, and finally you gain the information from there itself, right? So we discussed about that. Footprinting tools such as Maltego and Recon NG. Maltego is one of the major tools that are available inside of Kali Linux itself. We'll just fire up Maltego as well. And Recon NG. So we'll just use Maltego as of now. Recon NG, you can find it out yourself. It's a command line based tool and it's fairly simple. So yeah, this is Maltego. Inside of Maltego, what you can do is these are ads, right? So you can simply create a new document for yourself. So all the documents are in the form of graphs. So knowledge. Yeah. So this is a blank space for you. Now what do you need to do is you need to enter a URL from the website that you want to scam, right? So I will simply, so these are the entity palettes. We cannot zoom into the page, but yeah, this part is cannot be zoomed. Anyway, there are components here, right? So you can scan for all of these components right here, right? So I will scan a URL. So I simply drag and drop a URL title here and I edit that. I enter, say, kali.org, kali.org, type URL, title kali.org, right? So we have entered a URL here. Now, what we need to do is we need to run transforms. So to date time, to DNS names, to domains, right? These are all transforms that are available on Maltego. So what happens in these transforms? If I do something like to DNS names, it is going to give me a result of the DNS names that are there, right? But it didn't return any. So what I'll do is I'll put all transforms so that we can get all of the data from the website itself, and we'll run that. See, we see a lot of data right here. Okay. So you can zoom in, zoom out on the entire data. There's a JavaScript file right here. There are fields. You can open every single file and you can check for that. There's Kali Linux right here. This is a second. Yeah. This is a global server system, right? Then there's Kali.org as a website. Then there's Burp Suite that will Burp Suite, Metasploit, Nmap, all of the tools that are native to Kali Linux. Then there's community, some phone numbers that might be there from the registrar, 𝐿-crack-NG, right? These are all of the informations that you can access from a single domain, right? Its Facebook page, its GitLab page, the Kali.org, the bugs page that reports bugs for the website, right? So you have also got the subdomains of the website as well, which we cracked using other tools earlier in our journey, right? So yeah, that was the entire tool for Maltego. Feel free to play around with it. It does not hamper really much, but you can also scan Ethereum. Ethereum addresses. You can scan for cryptocurrency. Doesn't mean that you will get any cryptocurrency, but yeah, you can scan for the entire network, for the blockchain network. Mobile phones, right? So this is a satellite mobile phone. Obviously, this is not something that is a real device. But yeah, if you are going into that conversation, you can also try that out, right? So feel free to use Maltego. It is pre-installed on your computer. You can also install it on Windows. Feel free and create your account in order to continue with that. Okay, so that was Maltego. Similar to Maltego, there's FOCA, there's OSRF framework. So fingerprinting organizations with collected archives is FOCA, right? It checks through the entire Wayback Machine and gives us data about the website in order for us to gain information out of it. Similarly, OSRF framework includes, so OSRF means open source reconnaissance framework, includes applications related to username checking, DNS lookups, information leaks, deep web search, regular expressions, right? Each tool has a step up to that. It depends on what kind of data you are trying to extract um, from that purpose that you are fulfilling, right? Such as if you want to look into the deep web, you will use an OSRF framework. If you want to see a UI view, you will use something like Maltego. If you want to use any archived data, you will use FOCA, right? So it depends on what you want to fulfill at the end of the day. There's OSINT framework. So OSINT framework or open source intelligence framework is an open source intelligence gathering framework that is focused on gathering information from free tools and resources. If you go on to official OSINT website, the OSINT framework, right? You see, you'll see one small OSINT framework. If you want to enumerate something like email addresses, right? So you click on email addresses. It gives you an idea about email search, common email formats, email verification, breach data, spam reputation list, mail blacklist. So we'll just do for an email search. These are all of the tools that we can use: Infoga, MailDB, SkyMem, MailsHunt, right? So it gives us an information about those as well. Similarly, dark web. If I want to check the dark web, general information, clients, discovery, Tor search, Tor directories, Tor to web, right? So Tor directories would be hidden wiki, core.onion, onion tree. Tor searches or search engines would be onion cab, onion link, and so on. Right? Highly recommended not to try, but yeah, you can get all of those informations as well, including training. Right? You can get OSINT training from these websites for free, and also some OSINT games as well. A Google a day, 𝐒𝐔𝐿, verification quiz bot, and so on. Recon Dog and Bill Cipher, once again, similar lines of tools that are right here, which can be, uh, fulfilled by other tools as well. We discussed through this. Okay. Finally, countermeasures. Footprinting countermeasures are like restrict. So how do we stop footprinting? Restrict the employees' access to social networking sites from the organizational network, right? From the organization network or from your office, you are not allowed to access Facebook, right? Many of the times this is applicable inside of organizations as well, where only the marketing team is supposed to access Facebook because they will be creating posts and they will be creating the social media buzz as well. So restrict the employees to access social networking sites. Also, an addition to this is people are not allowed to take pictures in certain parts of the offices, right? Whether it be the server room, whether it be your desk, whether it be somewhere else or a meeting room or something of that sort. So you're not allowed to take a picture there, because if there is an information that might be written on a whiteboard behind you, it might be part of your selfie as well. So that is something that is also implemented in organizations. Configure the web servers to avoid information leakage. Educate employees to use pseudonyms on blogs, groups, and forums. Right? Do not. So if you are, say, from company XYZ and you are writing a review on, say, any of the review websites to be exact, right? Let's say for example, on Coda itself. So if you are writing a bad review, it's completely fine if you use your own name. But what is recommended from the company's end is you use a pseudonym, right? User one, user two, whatever it might be. So that is anonymizing you as a person, and an attacker might find you as a weak link because you might be dissatisfied with your company. So you being the weak link, it will try sending you data about, say, a new job, right? A new job. Now, in order to enter the job, you need to give this exam. This exam costs 2,000 rupees. Send it to me and I shall register you for the exam once you pay and you never receive it back. This is a real case study. So yeah. Next, do not reveal critical information in press releases, annual reports, and product catalogs. Obviously, very much self-explanatory. Limit the amount of information published on the website and the internet. Use footprinting techniques to discover and remove any sensitive information publicly available. So basically footprint your own website so that you don't leak any information that is not supposed to be out there on the internet. Lastly, prevent search engines from caching a web page and use anonymous registration services, right? So geocaching and these caching services are nothing but a cache storage is something that is a local storage, right? Now, what happens is whenever you use an application on a daily basis, very often, that is when the storage is cached and the application is cached. Hence, what happens is that all of this data that you want to access on a daily basis comes to you faster from the cache memory inside of your mobile phone or inside of your laptop itself. In case of websites, this entire website content, the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and every single component, except for the backend elements, obviously, are cached at geolocated servers, right? So say I am browsing from America. So if I browse from America, it is going to find the nearest caching server for this website close to me and serve me the website from there so that the traffic is not laggy and the traffic is fast, right? Similarly, if I'm browsing from India, it is going to find me the nearest caching server, which is closest to my location, and then serve me the website from there. That is caching. Now, it is recommended not to cache, but if it is a static website, it is fine to cache it on a geolocation basis because it reduces your lag time. It is reducing your what do you call it? It is increasing your performance. There are some other footprinting countermeasure techniques as well. You can go through those once you get the PDF. So yeah, that brings us to the end of this module. And in the next class, we are going to start with the scanning networks module. Fine. We'll take the last moment to take any questions that are there, if there are any.
Good morning or good evening to you, Aaron. My question is, do we get a copy of this
Yeah, you do. It will be sent to you on a weekly basis. So on Friday, you'll be receiving all of the modules that we have covered for the week.
but if we're only receiving it at the weekend, when do we go through when you just skipping almost everything? I mean, if we cannot.
So I can, arrange to send them on a daily basis if that is okay. Right.
Yes, please.
By the end
Yeah.
of the day of the class itself.
I mean,
That
maybe
works?
1 day after at most would be okay, because we can't just wait all week, then it's all piled up, you know.
Yeah, got it. Fine, no issues. I'll just make arrangements to send it. Have you guys joined the Slack channel? So I usually.
Not yet. I have not yet joined.
Okay, please join the Slack channel, because that is the preferred mode of communication for sending these PDFs.
Okay.
So yeah, that would be it. Any more questions?
I tried this phone infoga, just gave my number itself, but I didn't find any information. Just want to know how it can be used.
See, phone infoga at one point, phone infoga was a very powerful tool, right? Because all of these the directory data was available on the internet itself. But after the recent laws, many of the information are curbed back and reserved for the phone companies itself, right? That is the reason that you are not seeing much information about yourself, right? So if it would have been say a VoIP phone or something of that sort, which is transferring through the internet itself via IP addresses, I think you would get more information out of that. I cannot guarantee that, but recently, according to the laws, a lot of information has been redacted from the internet in order to keep people secure and keep their privacy intact.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah. So in the next class, we're going to start with scanning, where so I highly recommend, if you can, there are n number of YouTube videos to check in order to install Kali Linux on a virtual machine, right? Even it is available on the Kali Linux official website. Follow that along, because that is very much self-explanatory. We won't waste our time in explaining that which is already available on YouTube itself. Follow that, create a virtual machine for yourself. I don't mind if it is on VirtualBox. I don't mind if it is on VMware or Hyper-V, whatever it might be. We just need a Kali Linux machine at the end of the day. So yeah, that please create that so that we can run the tools and we can check it out ourselves. Moreover, I will be sending one link on the chat. Please keep this link handy, because this is a virtual machine that we will be using very often. It is called Metasploit. Metasploit table 2. Right. It's available from Rapid7. So I'll send the link on chat. Please keep this link handy. Right. My suggestion is to download it from the first link itself. Keep it downloaded. If you can create the virtual machine, create the virtual machine, so that we can start off smoothly.
Okay. Should we use this as the virtual machine and install Kali Linux on top of that?
No. This is a separate virtual machine.
Okay.
Okay. Kali Linux is a separate virtual machine. This is a separate virtual machine.
Okay. So we need two virtual machines for our practice.
Two virtual machines. Yeah.
Okay.
Fine. That would be it for today. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great rest of the day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks.